Hi. Okay. Hey, happy Saturday. Let me get everything adjusted here. Maybe not. I got this cool new video light, where it doesn't really emit a lot of light. I thought it might. So let's see. There we go. All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about how to add plugins to WordPress and everything that goes with that. So let me go ahead and sign into my WordPress site, and we'll get going. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to add plugins to your WordPress site, my favorite plugins, and how to update them. And there's some really handy ones in there. That's the really great thing about WordPress is that the plugins give it a bunch of functionality, and I really appreciate that. So I'm just signing into my WordPress website right now, and then we'll get going. I'll share my screen, and you'll be kind of able to see what's happening with it all. Cool. All right, let me share my screen. All right, share screen. Is it sharing? I don't know. Yes. All right, we're all set up. Bear with me. I'm still getting used to StreamYard. I think it's a very cool service, but yeah, it just takes a little getting used to. Okay, cool. All right, so today's video, I wanted to talk about plugins for WordPress. And so the first thing I want to do is show you how to add a plugin to your WordPress site. So this is my current website. Hit the sign in, go to your dashboard. Cool. All right, and so within that, you're going to go to the plugins tab. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Okay, so your plugins tab is going to look like this. And these are all my current plugins. You can see the ones that need updates and the ones that are inactive because they're white, but the blue ones means they're active. And then these yellow banners are telling me that I need to update them. So in order to add a new plugin, go to Add New. And then you have this whole store of plugins, which is amazing. And generally, they're all free. I don't want to say that. There are some premium plugins that are worth buying, but for the most part, you're going to run into free options, which are amazing. So if you're looking for something specific, all you have to do is search. Okay, so like duplicate is one of the ones that I like. You can easily duplicate a page. So just enter that in the search term, and then you can see. So if you can see that I already have like duplicate page installed, and what that does is it just with one button easily enables me to duplicate a page or a post, or you have this option as well. You just kind of have to read it a little bit. If you want to find out more about the plugin before installing it, just click on that thumbnail, and it'll tell you. One thing I really like doing is looking at the screenshots, and then I'm like, okay, that's either gonna serve my purpose or not. Another good thing to look at is reviews. But generally, it can't hurt you to add a plugin because if it doesn't work or if it breaks something else on your site, which is something to be aware of, sometimes plugins do interfere with other plugins. you can just delete it, so it's no problem. So let's say I want to add this one, duplicator. I already have a duplicate plugin like I just mentioned, but let's just for practice add this one. Okay, so all you have to do, let me go back. All I did is click on the thumbnail. Oops. And then I want to do install now. So that's only one part of it. Install now is the first step. And then you have to hit activate in order for it to activate. And then another thing to mention is that is this compatible with your version of WordPress? Something to pay attention to, because if it doesn't have that, then they don't know if it's going to work. You can always try it, no problem. So it automatically brought me to the duplicate or the plugins page, and then I see it right here. Let's see, I think I just passed it. See duplicator right here, which is really nice. And then you can always go to like view details or manage, and it'll tell you a little bit more about the plugin. Let's see. Let's see where it's actually living on our site. Let's go to manage. Okay, cool. And so you see that this particular plugin created a place in the sidebar where you can manage it. Not all of them do that. Sometimes it's like nested under like tools, or like settings. So sometimes it's nested, like SSL is a plugin that I'm going to talk about. That's nested under there. Short Pixel is a plugin I'm going to talk about. But generally, that's how you add a plugin. It's super simple. So let's go back to plugins, because I already have a duplicate page plugin and I don't need this one. I'm going to show you how to delete it. So you just click this and then hit deactivate. So remember, our first step was to activate it. Or I'm sorry, our first step was to install it and then activate it. So first you need to click and deactivate, apply. Okay, and then you're going to see it turn white, so that's correct. You're going to click on that and then hit delete. And then it says, are you sure? So yeah. So there you go. That's it. As simple as that. So let me show you guys how to add a plugin manually. One plugin I really, really like a lot, I think it's super easy to transfer websites, is called All-in-One WP Migration. Let me actually put that up on the screen because it's super handy. It's my preferred method of transferring websites. And there is a premium part of it. Like I upgraded to a premium theme because, I'm not theme, sorry. I upgraded to a premium plugin because it's so helpful. I think I paid like $70 once and I'm able to use it again and again. So let me show that. Okay, so WordPress.org plugins, all-in-one WP migration. You don't have to search the whole thing. Just Google all-in-one WP migration. So let me go ahead and go to that. Whoops. So it's a little hard to navigate because I'm on two screens. I'll get used to this eventually. Okay. Let's see where it's at. And this one does create a sidebar. Where is it? Do I not have it? Oh, do I not have it on here? Deactivated it. Oh, look at that. Okay, cool. Well, then we'll be able to go through the steps total. Okay, so plugins, add new. And so what all-in-one WP migration does is it migrates your site or transfers to another website. And I believe it also does like backups. And then I think it does duplicate pages. You'll have to look a little bit more into it, but that's what I use it for. So all you have to do is all-in-one. You can tell I've searched for it a lot. Look for that. Hopefully that'll come up because I didn't finish that. There you go. This is what it looks like. All-in-one WP migration. And then hit install now. And like I mentioned, see, it's compatible. If you scroll, sometimes it'll say like, we don't know if it's compatible with your version. So it's just a good thing to pay attention to. But like I mentioned, you can always delete it. Then you're going to hit activate. Cool. And that's it. So this is the free version of it, and it packs a lot of punch already. The reason I got the premium is because it only allows you to transfer websites of a certain size, and if you want to increase the capacity of the size, the file size, then you have to upgrade to premium. And like I said, I think I paid like $70 once a few years ago, and I'm able to use it again and again. So it's definitely returned its, it's had good ROI, or return on investment. Okay, so let's look for it now. Okay, so you see it's right here. So I've clicked on that, and then so you can export to a file. That's what I always do. You can import a site, but I don't want to cover this specifically. Just know I really highly recommend this plugin, but I wanted to add this so you can see how to manually add a plugin. So let's go ahead and go back to plugins. And let me grab this folder and drag it out to my other desktop. Okay, so I already have a file for my plugins that I bought, but I will explain that in just a minute. Okay, cool. Okay. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so you can see this says all-in-one WP migration unlimited, I think, or extension. So it's the unlimited version that increases the size capacity. When you get it, you're gonna just get a zip file and go ahead and leave that zipped. You're gonna need to import it as a zip file. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's see. Go to add new, just like we did, except this time we're not going to be searching for it. We're going to just manually manually upload the plugin. So then, so searching, go ahead and go to upload plugin, and then choose file. And like I mentioned, we need that zip file intact. Don't unzip it. And then just go to install now. Okay, and then activate plugin. A lot of these things, it'll just prompt you step by step. So that's one thing I really like about WordPress. Cool, and it says plugin activated. All right, let's see where it went. Okay. There it is. Okay. All-in-one WP migration extension. One thing I noticed is that plugins often update quite a lot, and so you'll need to update it. So check for updates, because I've noticed this plugin for me specifically doesn't work until I update it. And then it says, hey, you have this version. Do you want to update it? Yeah, update it. Ta-da! And that's it. That's as simple as that. And then we can go over here and then just click on that. Really, you're not going to know until you try to import a file that's gigantic, and it'll say like, hey, we can't accept that. But you can use this plugin for free, and it's quite great. So we've covered how to search for a plugin and covered manually upload a plugin. And let's talk about some of my favorite plugins to use for WordPress. Okay, so obviously I mentioned I love all-in-one WP migration for transferring websites. That's very handy. Some other crucial things that I think every website should have. Highly, highly recommend WordPress Security. Oh, I'm sorry, Wordfence Security. Let me go ahead and pull that up and put that on the screen. So this is a security plugin. I kind of have like a triple way of securing my websites. Just as a heads up, if you're not aware, your SSL is not what is going to secure your website. You do need it, but you need a couple layers of enforcement as well for your website, because WordPress is one of the most hacked websites out there. So it's called Wordfence. Love it. It's free. It's fantastic. What else? Okay, talking about the security plugins. Shield Security is another really good one. So this is just kind of my second layer. No, Wordfence plugin or WordPress plugin. Okay. And you can kind of read the documentation and find out what each of these do. So first is Wordfence and then Shield. Let me put this up on the screen. Okay, if you Google it, it looks like that URL is WP. Simple firewall, but yeah, that's what that is. Really handy. And then another thing you can use is something like Loginizer, I guess that's how you say it. So that will, I think this one, yeah. It says Loginizer is a WordPress security plugin which helps you fight against brute force attacks. So this is a good thing. And again, these are all free, which is incredible, right? That's what it looks like. Or that's what it's called. You can also look at cloaking your URL for your admin. So, you know, if you're familiar with WordPress, you go to your .com/wp-admin. You can actually change that with a plugin. So and just search like plugins that cloak your URL. One thing I recommend doing is choosing a URL that is some random words strung together with various character types like capital and whatever. It'll tell you like what you can and cannot do as far as like your URL that you're creating. I know for added security, some people create their cloaked URL with some random string of characters, like a password generator kind of thing. And while that's really going to secure your website, like how on earth are you going to remember that? So you can either like, you know, use that as a link every time. But if you forget your link or you displace that, then that's going to be hard to sign into your website. So what I personally recommend is cloaking your URL with some random set of words with varying character types, because that also helps and it helps you remember it. So these are, you know, 4 ways to secure your website plus your SSL. That's important. And just make sure to update your plugins. One thing I recommend to my clients is to update your plugins once a week. I know it sounds like a lot, but it just literally takes 5 minutes to sign in and do it, and you know your website's secure. So just my recommendation. Okay, so that is that. One thing I want to mention before I forget, you're going to see, you know, hey, this needs to be updated, and you can say like, why don't you just go ahead and update it? For this particular plugin, WP Bakery, which is a page builder, which is my absolute favorite, I love it. It's included in my theme, and that's great because it costs, you know, it costs money, and it's good that it's included. However, you're going to have to wait for the developers of the theme to update it before you can have it updated. So there's nothing you can really do that I'm aware of to update it unless they update it. So go check out my my video on my favorite themes and what you should look for in a WordPress theme. And one thing I mentioned is having a theme that is updated a lot, because you're going to run into these kind of problems where your plugins are not updated. So I'm just going to have to wait for the developers on that. Thankfully, I have a good theme, and I know it'll, you know, it'll come in handy eventually. They'll do it. Let me hide this. Cool. All right. Let's move on to some other plugins that I really enjoy. Okay. Speaking of SSL, one I really love is Simple SSL. Oh my God, I don't even know how it works. It just makes my life so easy. So what you're going to need to do is get SSL from your hosting company, whoever you host with, and then add this plugin, Really Simple SSL. And literally with one click of the button, it's just set up for you. And then you can see that your SSL is working. You'll know when you click on that little lock icon and it says connection is secure. So that's great. Okay. Another really good one is Short Pixel Image Optimizer. So we all know that optimizing your images and doing whatever you can to not put as much stuff on your website to clog it down is important. This is a really good one, and it's free up to a certain level. What else that I want to mention? Obviously, duplicate page is great. It's super easy. You can duplicate pages and posts with one click, which makes building your website so much faster. Let's see. Sliders, splash button. Updraft Plus is a good one. I really like this because it creates my backups, and you know, I just have it, like, you can go into the settings, set it up, and then you can have it back up your website like once a week or whatever you want, or once a day if it's e-commerce, whatever you really want to do. But it's quite handy. Highly recommend that. And what else did I want to talk about? I have my WooCommerce deactivated right now because I'm not using it. But one good tip is to always delete your inactive plugins for security. Let's see. Okay. Oh, caching. This is incredibly important. Speaking of making your site faster. So add a cache plugin. A cache is going to kind of preload the content of your website instead of having to call it each time and wait for it all to load. So that's one thing you can do to speed up your website. Google Analytics, always a great one. I always look at my bounce rate to see how fast people are moving away from my website and see what I can improve. Where is that? I think I've used a couple different cache plugins. I really like the W3 cache plugin. W3 is a really reputable website for all things code, and it's free, so look at that. And I think we're kind of nearing the end. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones I highly recommend. Yoast. So I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but Yoast is, let me pull it up. It's like toast with a Y, easy to remember. So it's an SEO plugin. Highly recommend, absolutely love it. It's one of the most popular ones out there. Free, premium if you want to, but excuse me, free packs a lot of punch. Let me put that up on the screen. Yoast is great. So yeah, so you will want an SSL plugin, multiple layers of security, because WordPress is one of the most hacked websites out there, or website builders, CMSs, content management systems that are vulnerable. So you'll need an SSL as well. Get that from your hosting. You should have a caching plugin, an image optimizer plugin to speed up your website, a caching plugin. I think I already said that. And then just anything to make your building of your site easier. You can really do so much with plugins, everything from functionality to securing your website. And it's really what enables WordPress to be so unique and helpful. I mean, even WooCommerce is the e-commerce plugin that allows your WordPress site to become a store. It's just really incredible. It packs a punch, like how much you can add. And so if you need your WordPress website to do something, there's probably a plugin that will make that happen. So I hope that answers everyone's questions about how to add a plugin. How to add a plugin manually, how to update your plugins, maybe why your plugins are not updating. It's probably your developer needs to do that, or the theme developer needs to do that. And then some of my favorite plugins. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in today, and I will see you next Saturday. Let's see. How do I sign off with this? Okay.